Hey book lovers, welcome back to my channel. Michelle Mahoney here. Today I am thinking of doing the crazy unthinkable and going through my TBR books and organizing them and maybe even showing you all of the books that are still on my TBR, because I know in this shelf alone I have like 73 books, and then I still have all of those. And I have definitely not read all of those, but those are the ones in my Pango store. So they're ones that, like, if I get to, cool. But if not, there's a lot of them I wouldn't read. But I have a lot of books. And so I feel like it would be easier for me to pick from the books if I organize them into genres, seasons, that kind of thing. Because it is now it's not even quite the middle of August. It's the beginning of August. But I know that there are certain books in here that I want for fall time, for, spooky season, for Christmas, for winter season. So I feel like if I organize my books in a way that's going to make me be able to pick them up easily, then I want to do that. So let's get to it. Okay, first things first, let's go through the cart. I just put this cart together not too long ago, but I feel like I'm going to need to just take everything out and go through it. And I'll show you which books I have. And then I'm going to organize them by, like I said, by my genres and seasons. Trinity. Okay, so the first one I have here is The Rumor by Ellen Hillenbrand. So I feel like I want to keep this out because this is a very beachy, summery book, and I'd like to read this during the season. I'm very much a season reader, and I feel like it definitely helps me get in the mood when I read a book like that. This is a Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm so excited about this one. I've heard so many good things about it. Definitely spooky season. Twisted Love. Now, I only have the first one in the I think there's 4 books, right? Yeah, in the series, I only have the first one, but I've heard such great things about this. And so I feel like this one could definitely be like a fall because it's like spicy, and I feel like cuddled up in a blanket and reading all about that spiciness would be like a nice thing. So I could definitely make this in the wintry season. Colleen Hoover, which is Regretting You. Again, I feel like this one, maybe because it's more of like the romance, I could definitely do like during the colder months. Could be a summer. This is not really like anywhere specific for me. So I think I'll put it over in this side. You'd Be Home Now. I also heard great things about this. I can't wait to get to this one. Without Merit, Colleen Hoover. Now, I thought this was more of a spooky one, but I'm hearing it's not actually that spooky, but it just looks, the cover looks a little bit crazy. So I think I'll still probably keep it maybe in my colder season one. Alice Munro, Dear Life. I've also heard great things about this one. I think this even has like the leaves on it. So it's more like a fall vibe to me. I'm going to put this in the fall season. This one is An Impossible Promise with Tara Sheets. I feel like just even looking at this cover, it is definitely more of like a spring, maybe fall kind of vibe. So I definitely think I'll make a new pile for spring. Apparently I'm going to order these by season because that's just where I'm at right now. These two, I'm so excited to read. I've heard so many great things about them, and I've just not gotten to them yet. Rock Bottom Girl and Things We Never Got Over. I definitely think these could be like summer, beginning of fall kinds of books, and maybe just because I want to read them so badly. So I think I'm going to put them over in this pile. Apocalyptic. This one I actually read a very long time ago, so this will be a reread, but I really want to read it because I haven't read this book in, oh my God, probably over 20 years. Like, this is one of the first books that like really got me into reading, and so I feel like I've always had to hold on to it because I just really, really loved it. Well, I remember loving it. So, I don't know when. This maybe is a good summer one. It's like a quick read, I feel like, and maybe I can squeeze it in before the summer ends. Also, The Friendship List by Susan Mallory. Definitely summer vibes on this one, so I'm going to put that over here. Addicted to You. This one could definitely be more of like a fall. It's kind of like spicy, romancy, that kind of stuff. So it could definitely be a summer, but I'm thinking that my summer pile is going to get pretty high over here, so I'm going to put this in the fall area. This one is Return to Virgin River. Again, I could see that being like a more springy type vibe. So I'm going to put that over here. Sick in the Head by Jude Apatow. I feel like this is definitely one that is a little bit more gruesome from what I remember. Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe it's more funny. Still feel like not gonna be something that I wanna read during the summer, more of like a fall, wintry vibe for me. Frank Sinatra, Why Sonata Matters. I've bought this book so long ago and I've been wanting to read it for so long. I'm a big fan of Frank Sinatra. I love him so much. And this book is like such a quick read and I don't know why I just have not gotten to it. I might even put this in my summer pile because I just feel like it's such a quick read. I can squeeze this in. Atomic Habits. I think that I'm going to have to put this right at the top of my to-do list. I'm really struggling right now with following through with my habits and the things that I want to do. I will do things like for maybe a couple of weeks and it's only with my new things. Like I feel like I've definitely gotten into some good habits and I've stuck with those, but I'm wanting to incorporate a couple of new things and I'm really struggling with like fitting them in and making sure it's done. And I heard great things about this book. It's supposed to be fantastic and really give you that motivation. And I haven't really read a motivational book in a while. So I feel like maybe I need to get back into it. And I'm going to do this one because I feel like it's time. So I'm going to put this over here in my summer pile. Someone gave me this book, The Power of One More by Ed Milet. Again, it's like all about success and happiness. But I feel like I don't want to get too many self-help books like this all at once because I get overloaded. So I'm going to put this one over here for like a later date pile. One of my good friends recommended this one to me, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. I did start it and I have not, let me see, I'm only on page 8 and I stopped it. It was a little too much for me. I don't like DNFing books. I always like to push through no matter what. And she gave it such a good recommendation. I feel like I was just reading so many self-help books at the time. I just needed a break. And so I think I need time to like grasp about this one. So I think what I'm going to do for now is put it maybe in my spring pile because maybe it will give me some time to relax from it for a little bit and then get back to it. This one is What Happened to You. This is conversations on trauma, resilience, and healing. Bruce Perry and Oprah Winfrey are the ones on this one. And so because I've had a lot of trauma in my life and all that kind of stuff, I definitely was interested in this one. It's kind of like a question answer kind of book and more like factual information and things like that to help you. But again, I really want to focus on the Atomic Habits first. So I definitely want to keep this in my to be read pile. I'm just not sure I'm ready to tackle this quite yet. All right, this one, people are definitely going to make fun of me for it in the comments. And that's fine. Go right ahead. But I am so late on the series in this game. But Hunger Games. I have not read it. I have not seen the movies. None of it. I know it's crazy and I hear such great things about it. And I really do want to read it. I just haven't gotten there yet. And it's really hard to block out the noise of like when it was all happening, when it was really popular at the time. Because I didn't want the spoilers, but I definitely have heard things here and there and I just try to block it out of my brain so I can enjoy it for the first time. So I definitely do want to get into this. I feel like this would be a good fall book and I know there's more, so I definitely, oh, it says a trilogy. So I definitely would like to read all the books first and then do the movies. That's just how I like to roll. But I do feel like I could maybe do a fall. This could be a fall season for me. So I'm going to put that over here. And Voice of Fear, I love thrillers, so I'm really looking forward to Spooky Month. So I definitely want to put this in my spooky area. Okay, I have to just make a spooky pile because I feel like October in itself is just going to have to be all my thrillers. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to put all my thrillers in because I have so many. So we're going to go with like a fall season pile and a thriller pile. This one's called Wrong Alibi. I love the color of this one. I love the cover of this book. It gives such creepy vibes and like I just love everything about it. And it definitely looks like wintry. Yeah, it says the Alaskan wilderness. So definitely a winterish kind of book, thriller. But I think because I'm going to have so many thrillers, I will put this more in the winter, like January section, because I know that I'll be able to get to it and I'll still be in a spooky mood because I'm always in a thriller mood. Always. This one also, it's called Hiding Place by Megan Holloway. Definitely creepy vibes. I'm gonna have to put this in my thriller section. This one, because the teacher in me, I can't not. It's Bill Nye. It's called Unstoppable. And I just love Bill Nye because who doesn't love Bill Nye? And this is definitely like more about him. And I love autobiographies and memoirs and things like that. So I don't know where I'm going to put this quite yet, but I definitely want to read it. Okay, so this one is Layla by Colleen Hoover. Love Colleen. It definitely gives some spooky vibes, and it says on the back, love can haunt or heal. So I've heard, though, it's not really like thriller-ish, so I think I'll just put it in my fall pile. So it kind of be the same vibe. My next one, I just loved the cover of this, and I wanted to read it right away, but as you can see, I have a lot of books. This is called What If You and Me? Definitely has, the weather on it is like raining, so like sad vibes. I definitely feel this could be like more of a wintry fall kind of book. And because my piles are getting big over here, I think I'll put it in my winter pile. As much as I want to read it as fast as possible, I know I'm needing to distribute appropriately here. This one, again, I know I'm late on the bandwagon here, but I saw this on Book Talk, TikTok, and Fangirl is supposed to be so good. I'm so excited about this one. I just have not been able to get to it with all the other books that I have. So I think I'm going to put this in my wintry vibe pile just because that pile's small. That's honestly where we're going with that. Also, The Wife Upstairs. I definitely think this is thriller. That is why I got it. But it's like twisted love triangles. I don't know. I don't know if it's, oh no, it does say compulsively readable, a gothic thriller laced with arsenic. Like, just even the cover is so cool. I love it so much. Definitely my thriller pile, and it might be one of my top ones because I've been wanting to read that really bad. Reminders of Him, Colleen Hoover. I've heard people have like mixed reviews in the sense that like some people say it's really sad and they cry. Some people say that it's not that sad, but they really liked it. I love Colleen Hoover. As much as I want to read this super fast too, I also feel like I can kind of push this back to my winter vibes. All the Light We Cannot See. Again, something, I think this came in one of my donation boxes, and it's not typically something I think I would read, but like the cover, it's just like, how can you not? And it's on Oprah's book club, so how can you not? But again, I'm going to put this in my like wintry pile. Okay, I just got these ones not too long ago. All the Missing Girls and Shudder. I'm not going to lie, the covers are what convinced me to buy them. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I always do. I love covers, and that's what will get me because I really do love going into books blind most of the time. I feel like it's so much more fun to just kind of like dive deep and figure out the story as you go. So yeah, that's kind of where we went for this. So these are definitely going in my spooky October pile. This one, Since You've Been Gone, I'm loving it so much. There's definitely a summer vibe here on the front, but it is also going to be a little upsetting, I think, as one of the girls disappears. But I don't know. I still feel like there's just such summer vibes. I could definitely squeeze this into my summer pile. We'll see. I'm going to put it over here. All right, this one again, the cover, I couldn't not get this book. It's called The Memory of Light. I think that cover is just gorgeous. I feel like it's not going to do justice here on screen. But definitely something I really want to read, but maybe a little bit more sad, and I think it's going to go in my winter pile for now. This one's called The Problem with Forever. Again, a gorgeous cover. Love it. It says it's about friendship, survival, finding your voice, that kind of thing. I feel like it's going to be very empowering. But again, I'm going to have to put this in my winter pile for now just because I need to be realistic about where my piles are at right now. My Life Next Door, definitely summer vibes if you ask me. Maybe a little bit fall because it's a little bit darkish, but I think that's just the fence. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I can squeeze this in for the end of summer, but I feel like if not, it could be a good September, like beginning of fall kind of book. Another one I know I need to get on, Daisy Jones and the Six. Everyone has such great things to say about this. Can't wait. This one is One True Loves. I feel like these are both just like such summer vibes, so I'm going to have to squeeze it in somehow in my summer vibe. Nicholas Sparks, See Me. I haven't read a Nicholas Sparks book in so long. I used to be obsessed with him, but then after a while, you know, you kind of get the same vibe from an author when they have so many like similar books. So between him and Debbie McCumber, I kind of had to like give it a break, but I really do love their writing and there's certain vibes for that. So I think I'm going to have to put this in my winter pile for now, even though I feel like it's definitely summer vibes back there. I don't know if I can squeeze this in. It's a pretty thick one, so I think it might have to wait. This one, really sad. I don't know if I can read it for back to school because it's going to be like giving me a depressing vibe, but I really want to read this one. It's called This Is Where It Ends. Everyone has a reason to fear the boy with the gun, but like it's almost back to school time and this is like not the vibe you want for back to school. So again, I think I'm going to have to wait for the winter months after we've kind of been in school for a little while and I'm not thinking about, you know, the horrible things that can happen in school. So as much as I want to read it, it's not the time right now. This is called An Object of Beauty by Steve Martin. Again, I love books by like people's memoirs and stories and things like that. I love Steve Martin. I think this would be really great. A lot of comedic value in here. But again, I'm going to put this in my more like self-help memoir pile. This one also, so excited to read. I love Drew Barrymore. I have actually been told that I resemble her in public several times throughout my life. Maybe not right now, but I definitely have gotten that vibe before. Someone in California actually did ask me, like, hey, you look like Drew Barrymore. You're not her, right? And I was like, no, but thanks. I was also a lot skinnier, whatever. But anyways, she has a book called Wildflower, and I'm very excited to read this one. I love her so much, and I just feel like this book is going to be so great. I just think that I'm not going to be able to squeeze it in for my summer, maybe fall, maybe winter, but I just feel like with her, you can read her any time of the year, and it's going to be a fun read. So I'm really excited. She's going in my memoir pile. This one's called Into the Magic Shop. Somebody recommended that I read this. It says a neurosurgeon's quest to discover the mysteries of the brain and the secrets of the heart. So definitely something cool vibe. Definitely about some sadness here. The words I'm seeing are like alcoholic father, depressed mother, neurosurgeon, never dreamed things were possible. So like definitely like more saddish vibes, comfy, cozy vibes. I feel like I'm gonna want to like snuggle up with this book because it may be sad. So winter, I'm gonna go with winter. Okay, this one, Lily and the Octopus. I've heard great things. I've always been wanting to read this one. Again, it's just like kind of like that fun loving, like a man and dog, best friends kind of thing. I don't feel like it gives me any like specific seasonal vibes. So I'm going to put it towards my later pile in the winter area because that will give me time to kind of break through with my other piles. Black Ice, definitely my beginning of winter pile because look at this. And it's definitely thriller, very excited. It's a little bit thick, but it's got the winter vibes. So I'm definitely gonna wanna read this probably right after Halloween because it's gonna start to be like cold here in New England and I'll still be in that thriller mode, but it's like before the holidays kind of thing and like get that, you know, crazy winter thriller story in. So I'm super excited for this one. Right here, The Other Misses. Thriller, love it. It's going in my thriller pile. One Night Gone, again, love the cover. Definitely thriller pile. And The Guardian by Nicholas Sparks. Again, I've never read it. I've had this book forever. I've always wanted to, but I feel like this could definitely go in a later date pile for now. This one is The Forever Farmhouse by Lee Tobin McLean. Definitely gives me fall vibes because if you look at the leaves, it's definitely fall if you ask me. Even though it's like farmhouse and I could see how people think that's summery, this is definitely a fall pile for me. This one's called Hidden Summit. Strong conflict, humor, and well-written characters. So I could still see like maybe beginning of spring because it looks like, you know, the mountain in the background feels like it's like coming out of springtime. So this is kind of an emotional one too. So definitely I could wait for springish for this one. Whispers and Lies. Great cover. Definitely more of a gripping thriller, it says here on the back. So excited about that. Shine Like Silver. I'm not sure about this one. I feel like I definitely added it to my pile because I wanted to mix things up and try different genres and things like that. Things that I wouldn't normally pick out. So I have this here on my list. I'm going to put it in my later to be read pile because I'm not quite ready to throw it out necessarily or like give it away, but I'm gonna put it in my later pile to go from there. It's like supposed to be a contemporary romance. I'm not quite ready to give it up yet, so it's gonna go on my later pile. This series, absolutely in love with. I already read Hooked. I've already sold it on Pango. I'm a little bit regretting that I sold it because I kind of want to hang on to these ones just because they're so cool. The covers are awesome, but this is by Emily McIntyre. I will say Hooked was so good. Like so good. I was so obsessed. I went out and bought these literally the day it finished. And then something distracted me and I started reading something else. And then I kind of forgot about them. But I'm super excited to get back into these. Sorry, my son is like right there. Super excited to get back and read the rest of these three. I don't even know where I want to put these for because I feel like I don't want to wait any longer. I really want to read them. So we've got Scarred, Twisted, and Wretched. So I don't even know where to put these right now. I feel like I need to read them in the fall because I just want to read them so fast. But I don't know if I'll have time to read them in summer. I'm going to kind of put them between I've got like a thriller October pile right here and a summer pile right here. So I'm going to put them in the middle and go from there. This one is called Dry, and it's by Augustin Burroughs. I also read the other book, Running with Scissors, and so I had got this probably a really long time ago now, and I just never went and read the second one, but I definitely want to. I feel like this could definitely be fall vibes. This one's called The Lifestyle. I got this from the book of the month. Definitely about something I've never read before. Let me just put it here on the cover for you. Okay, so this one is about a husband and wife that want to spice up their lifestyle, so they decide to become swingers. I'm not sure if I knew that when I bought this book or not, but why not, right? Like I said earlier, I'm trying to mix it up and read different genres, so apparently this is where we're at. I'm going to see what this is about. This one's called The Soulmate, also a book of the month book. I love the cover. So excited to read this one. As soon as I got it, I wanted to read. This is, it says, what happens when love pushes you to the edge. So I don't know where to put this one because I really want to read it soon. So I think I might put it in my Emily McIntyre series pile right now because I'm not quite sure where I can squeeze this in. I'd like maybe to the end of the summer, fall, but I have to keep reminding myself that the end of the summer is coming really soon. And so I need to get it together. Daisy Darker, pretty sure it's a thriller, so it's going in my thriller pile. Jodi Picoult, House Rules. I have heard that this is really good and I really want to read it, but I also think it's a little bit more on the sad. Yeah, Jacob Hunt is a teen with Asperger's syndrome. So I think there's definitely more of a vibe that's not so summery, so I feel like it can definitely wait a little bit. So I'm going to put it in my later pile for now. This one is called You Don't Want to Know by Lisa Jackson. Pretty sure it's about a little boy that gets kidnapped or abandoned, something like that. Yeah, or it says that Lisa Jackson shows to get why she's one of the best at romantic suspense and nail biter. So it's definitely more on like the thriller twist turn kind of thing. I just don't know if I'm feeling it right now. I think I'm going to put it in my later pile for now. This one's called Lunar Love. Very excited for this one. I feel like it could be like the beginning of my winter vibes because it's a nice romance one. Definitely if I could squeeze this in for my summer, just because it's so nice and colorful, I would want to. It's just my pile's getting really high over there, so I'm not sure I can squeeze it into summer. Maybe I'll try to put it in summer, and if I can get it, I can. If I can't, whatever. This one is called Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingslover. I got this book for my birthday from one of my really good friends. I'm not sure when I want to tackle this one either. Definitely some thickness. So I'm going to put it in my hold off on pile for now. Again, just because my piles are getting so high right now. This one, another late on the game one, but tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I've heard such great things. Like literally people talk about this book all the time, I feel like. I want to squeeze it in there. This came out, I have it as 2022 Book of the Year. I just really want to read it so bad. I got it from Book of the Month. I added it to one of my subscription months because I wanted the book so bad. And it has like an award. I don't know when I can squeeze this in. I really don't. I think I'm going to put it in my pile over here of I want to squeeze it in, but I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. This one's called Please Stop Laughing at Me. Again, I got this one quite some time ago, but I love to read about people's stories and their life lessons and their growth and things like that. So I'm going to put this over in my memoir pile. It's categorized under self-help inspiration. So I definitely want to get to this one. I just don't know when quite yet. This one, very excited for. It's called Fly Away Home, Jennifer Weiner. Definitely summer vibes. They're on a beach in the picture. And it's definitely like self-esteem building and humor and like themes of commitment. And it's just like such a good vibe. I think I'm going to have to put it in my summer pile, but it's going to be one of those, like, let's hope I get to it kind of things. She started it. Definitely one of my book of months. I love, love, love the cover. Thriller genre, if I remember correctly. And I definitely want to hit this up as soon as possible. Another really cool cover with the light version again. It says The Light We Lost. 2 lives, 2 loves, 1 choice. So definitely like a fun romance book. Not sure when I'm going to get to this one either, so I'm going to put it in my later pile, but definitely one I want to keep for a while and read. All right, this one, definitely winter vibes. You got the glove in the corner, you get the snow, the ice, all that kind of stuff. Definitely more of like the thriller, compelling. They say this is a book that like you're never going to forget after you put it down kind of thing.
It's by the same author for my This Is Where It Ends, but because it's winter vibes, I like to read winter books in winter, so I'm going to put it in my winter pile. This one also I was gifted by the same friend for my birthday. It's called Trust. It is definitely on like one of those lists of like books to be read. I have not read the back, as you can tell I'm doing that right now. Wall Street Tycoon, Oprah Daily said fun as hell to read. So this one definitely on my to be read, pretty thick. I'm going to put it in my not sure what to do kind of yet pile, like my fall pile. This one also gifted from the same friend. It's called Then the War. Now this one is a book of poems. So I've actually been reading this on and off, and let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm not really in the middle, but I am in the beginning, and like I kind of just read these once in a while. I'll probably go on my desk because I actually haven't dabbled in this in a little bit now because I kind of forgot it got buried in my pile over there. So I'm going to put it back on my desk so I can dabble in that when I'm wanting to. All right, looks like I cleaned up my cart over here. So now I'm going to have to get to the shelf up there. I'm already kind of regretting this decision because there's so many books up there. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. But at the same time, this is fun because now I'm kind of getting myself in vibes of like, hey, this is when I can read this and this is when I should read that, instead of having that overwhelming feeling of, oh my God, what do I read next? I don't know. I'll just pick random books. I do love having vibes to read. So I'm going to go ahead and do that task of getting those books down. So some of my piles are way back there now because I moved locations. So I'm just going to have to kind of like slide things over. So let's get started with these piles. English as a second language. See, now this is one of those books that I got this so long ago. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to read. I hate to give books up and not give them the chance that they deserve. It does seem like kind of a quick read, maybe like a romance style. I'm not ready to give it up because I don't like to give up on books. So I'm going to put this in as my to be read later pile, which is actually right in front of me. And I'm not going to give up on that yet. Also, as I was pulling books down, I realized I don't think I have a lot of Christmas books like I thought I did. I think I only have like maybe 4. So I feel like for my Christmas month, that for like December, I'll read whatever Christmas books I have, and then I can kind of dive deep into some other romance piles that I have in here, because that will still give me like the nice feels and the good vibes, and maybe any kind of like wintry ones that I have that are not thriller. I don't want to read thriller during like the fun holiday season. It just is something like I want to be corny and watch Hallmark movies and all my childhood Christmas movies and like fun books. So I will save any of like my winter thrillers for January when things start to get really gloomy again. All right, this one is called Free For All. It says, they say your daughter is dead and you know they're wrong. Definitely more thriller vibes, so that's going to go over my October pile. The Keepsake Sisters. Oh, I almost got this again, I feel like, the other day. I didn't even realize I have this. So glad I did not buy a second copy. I actually might have another copy in here somewhere, I feel like. I'm not quite sure, but definitely summer vibes right here. Like, look at the beach house, the girls walking. I definitely have to put this in my summer book. I know, romance, but it's like, how can you not? So this is what I feel like with my summer books. Anything that has like a beach or water on the cover, like I feel like I just need to read it during the summer. And anything that doesn't, I can move it on and push it back a little bit, right? This one's called Falling For You. Again, summer vibes, a yellow house on a lake. Like, how can you not want to read that during the summer? All right, so this one's more of just a classic I got as a donation. It says Stephen King, The Carrie, The Shining, and Salem's Lot. I feel like I have to at least read one of these stories in here. I don't think I've read Salem's Lot yet, but I think I've read the other 2. It's hard because I know I've read The Shining before. I can't remember if I read Carrie or not. But these are like classics and thrillers, and it's Stephen King, and there's like silver pages. So it would be really cool if I could fit in one of these thrillers, especially The Shining for like Halloween time. Not quite sure, but I'm going to put it in my thriller pile because I have an idea of how I'm going to stack these back up there. This book I actually started reading when I was Actually, I think I graduated high school. So probably back in like 2005, my employer's daughter was reading this book and she kept leaving it on the counter. I worked at a pool store. And so when she wasn't there, I was like, hey, do you mind if I read it too? And she's like, I don't care. So we all had, there was like 3 of us reading the same exact book. We all had different bookmarks. And I loved it. It's called How to Make Love Like a Porn Star by Jenna Jameson. I loved her story. But again, it was so long ago. I never ended up finishing it. And I ended up moving to Virginia. So I never finished her story. And so I feel like I need to get back and read it again. Because I remember when I was reading it, I couldn't stop like turning the pages. She has like such an interesting life. And so I do want to get back to this. It's going to have to go in my autobiography list for now, but I bought it and then I never have gotten to it still since 2005. It's 2023, Michelle. But I have always kept it because I can't wait to get back to it. I just don't know when I'm going to. This one, Craig Ferguson. I loved his show when it was on TV. I don't know if it still is or not, but I like him as a comedian. So I somehow came along his book. I really don't remember. I'm pretty sure I got this quite some time ago. Have not read it. But I will definitely picture his accent when I do. And I'm going to put this in my memoir pile. Another memoir, Holly Madison, The Vegas Diaries. I believe one of my cousins bought me this for a birthday. But again, like a million years ago, I've never got to it. But I want to still. The Girl on the Train. If you watched any of my other videos, this one's still lingering. I just have not gone to it. I don't know what it is about it. I'm putting it in my thriller pile and I need to get to it. Love is Murder. This one is also from a recent video that I just got like a whole bunch of donations for book. I was not going to keep this one until I read the back and then I got so intrigued that I was like, okay, no, I need to save it. So thriller pile. All right, this one is Jenny McCarthy, Mother Warriors. I got this book a long time ago. I feel like her and I have conflicting views on the whole autism world now, but I still want to read about her story with her son because I know being a mom and having to, you know, have a child with autism and figuring out life in a whole new way, I'm sure she has something to offer in her story. I just am not sure if I agree with her on everything that she says now about the autism community. But I still want to read her story, so she's going to go in my memoir section. This one is called A Gentleman in Moscow. Not typically a book that I would be interested or wanting to read, but some people have said some amazing things about this book, and so I feel like I definitely want to have it on my TBR. But it's definitely going in this pile because I'm just not quite sure when I'm going to be ready for it yet. This is also Teresa Caputo. My cousins and I used to go to her shows, and we loved watching her shows on TV. This is called You Can't Make This Stuff Up. I definitely am interested in her story. I'm not sure how I feel about what she does. I would like to believe it. I don't know. I know a lot of people says it's like so phony and fake and whatever. I don't know, but I still want to read her story. I love reading people's stories. So no matter if this is what she feels she believes she can do, whether I believe that or not is not really up to me, but I just want to read her story and see where she's coming from and how she is getting to where she is today. So I'm excited to read it still, and it's going in my memoir pile. No lies, this is a mystery book, so I'm going to put it in my thriller series. The Betrayal. Sometimes there are 4 sides to a story. What do you believe? This says it is breathtaking, a family in crisis. So I'm not sure it's quite like a thriller book, even though it looks like really good. The cover, I really like it. I'm going to put it in this I'm not sure what to do yet pile. This one is called Nothing to Lose. I believe, yeah, the suspense. It's a suspense novel, so I'm putting it in my thriller pile over here, which is getting really big, by the way. This one, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I have not read, but it's definitely a popular one, and people say great things. I feel like I definitely have the second part of this. It might be in my bookstore shelves right now. But again, I'm going to put it in this pile because I'm just not quite sure when I'm going to be ready for it, but I have it. Orphan's Tale, again, someone told me about it and it sounded so great. I think because it's got the snow on the cover, we're going to have to put it in my winter pile so that I can read it during the winter time. I'm not exactly sure what it's about, so I'm going to have to read into that to figure out if it's going to be like winter when it's potentially before Christmas, depending on how the snow season is, or after, because again, I don't like to read like sad things before Christmas. This one also classic, someone donated to me, Gold Pages. I can't get rid of these books for the pure fact that they're like amazing and beautiful. So Jane Austen, I'm not sure if I can actually go ahead and read her stories. I'm going to maybe try, I don't know what's in here. So there's 7 novels in here. Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, Persuasion and Lady Susan. I just feel like I love how beautiful the book is, but I seriously did not like Pride and Prejudice. I just could not. Like, the writing is just too, I don't want to say confusing. It's not that I didn't know what they were saying, but I really feel like I have to, like, think about it, and I don't know. I like smooth writing that I can just kind of, like, ease into. I feel like more it's like reading a textbook. And when I'm reading, I want to just enjoy and have a good flow of words. And with the old style of the writing back then, it's just not how we talk today. And it's just really hard for me to stay interested. When I'm reading, I want to be like relaxed and enjoy. I don't want to have to really think too hard about the story or the words I'm reading and how to conceptualize it. Like, so it's just old writing, but I think I'll still keep it because it's so beautiful and my daughters love it. So maybe they'll have interest in it. Maybe someday I will want to sit down and read another story from her. I don't know. I'm going to keep it, but it's going to be more in like a collector's pile, not a to be read pile right now. No. This one's called The Wrong Victim. I'm definitely putting this in my thriller pile. This is A Bend in the Road by Nicholas Sparks. To be quite honest, I feel like I've read this one, but I don't remember reading it. It's like one of those weird ones. I'm like, did I read this? And even when I read the back, I'm like, it kind of sounds familiar, but I really don't know what happens. So I want to keep it in my pile. I'm definitely going to put it in more of my springish pile I have over here because, again, as much as I love Nicholas Sparks, I'm not sure I'm ready to get back into him yet. But this definitely feels like it's like a spring, dreary, like foggy day. So I think this can wait for now. Nicholas Sparks' True Believer. Now, this one does have a beach on it. So maybe I will have to shove some Nicholas Sparks over there because I'm vowing that anything has water on it I'm going to read this summer, right? I did say that, so we'll see. This one has snow on the cover, so I'm putting it in my snow pile. This one also has snow in the cover, putting it on my snow pile. And Ghost Story. I bought this last Halloween season, and it didn't come in time for the Halloween season. I didn't get it until like probably mid-November-ish. And so by that time, I was like, oh, well, I'm not in the spooky mood anymore. Like, I want to move on to my romance. Like, after October, I just feel like I want to go into romance and Christmas stories. Like, that's where my brain is at because I start listening to Christmas music and watching Christmas movies on November 1st. That's just who I am. I love it. I love the season. I want it to last as long as possible. So I go right from thriller to joy and happiness immediately. So I definitely want to put this on my top priority list because I was so invested in reading this last year and I didn't have the vibes to do it. So I'm going to make this a priority this year. Gillian Flynn, Dark Places. I loved Gone Girl when I read the book, and I actually really enjoyed the movie too. And so I'm going to put this in my thriller pile. Debbie McCumber, That Summer Place. I mean, right there, I got to put it in my summer pile. This one's called The Big Love, a nice romance book. It does say take this book to the beach this summer. So I feel like I got to put it in my summer pile. But I feel like if I don't read it during the summer, I'll be okay with that. I hope. Straight Talking. Again, it's one of those books. I think I remember starting this book and I never finished it. But I feel like I could definitely keep this in my, like, I don't know what to do yet pile just because I feel like I could do this any vibe. This one is Jodi Picoult, 19 Minutes. Now, I'm kind of getting a summery-ish vibe just from the cover. However, I'm not sure this is necessarily, yeah, it says like tragedy and things like that. So I feel like I'm going to, like, destroying friendships. Like, I feel like this is kind of like a more negative vibe, which I'm fine with reading. I just feel like I want to stick to the summery books for now because I'm not going to have enough time between summer and thriller to fit this in. With the way my pals are looking over there, like, no way. This one is A Little Bit Country by Debbie McCumber and Rian Thayen. So I think there's two different stories in here. Oh, I love it because even, I don't know if you can see on the video, but yeah, it does. Oh, maybe right there. You can see that there's like two different colors to the pages there. Definitely giving me, again, maybe like fall vibes there. Just like the colors and things like that. So I think I'm going to put this in my fall pile, actually. This one is Red Mist. Now, I can't even tell you. I have gotten this book. I have like 3 copies of this book at one point because I kept getting them donated to me. So I literally have 1 copy in my bookstore, 1 copy on my to be read, because I feel like this book has come across my desk so many times. I'm like, okay, at this point I have to read it. I just have to. So it's going into my thriller pile, and I feel like I also need to make it a priority. I've got another Nicholas Sparks, The Best of Me. As you can tell, I own a lot of Nicholas Sparks book, and I believe I didn't read this one, at least not that I can remember. But again, I feel like I can save this for my spring pile. Debbie McCumber, Hannah's List. Now, this one is a part of a series that I was reading, and there was, I think I already read like the first 7 books, and I was so into the series, and then I kind of was like, okay, I think I need a break, because I was just reading about the same characters, and as much as I loved them, I just kind of needed a different vibe. So that's one of the things I love about Debbie McCumber, is that she has those books where you can just like keep reading and reading and reading, and I love getting all the perspectives of all the different people, but sometimes you do just need a break of it. So this is the next one on that list for that series, and so I definitely want to read it. It definitely is giving me summer vibes. I just don't know. I feel like I'm really going to put it in my summer pile because it has been a while since I've read the story. Maybe it will get me back into it. But at the same time, it's hard because it's a slippery slope. Once I get into one, I want to go back and like read the whole series. And I think I'm like only right in the middle of the series. I feel like there's still like 4 or 5 more books after this one, if I remember correctly. But I still have to put it in my summer pile because look at that. Look at that. It's okay. It's okay. This one's called Navy Families by Debbie McCumber. 2 stories of Navy heroes becoming family men. I don't know if I think I might pass this one along to my bookstore. I'm just not sure I'm ready to read this quite yet. We're going to leave it at that. I think I'm going to move this one along. This one is James Patterson, Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas. Again, this was like a million years ago when this book was like so popular. Oh, it has like giant writing. I like that. It's under 300 pages. It has a beach on it. So I think I'm going to put it in my summer pile. Debbie McCumber, Between Friends. Oh, it's got water on it. 2 glasses of wine. Definitely summer vibes there. I'm never going to be able to read all these books, but... Oh, this one was fairly new. Well, at least I remember it being new, but I probably got it a long time ago. It's called Every Breath by Nicholas Sparks. I wasn't joking when I told you I liked him a lot. It was very disappointing knowing that he got a divorce. But it happens to the worst of us, right? It happens to the best of us, right? Okay, I'm going to put this in this pile. Because it's got like some cool vibes on it, but nothing specific to summer, so... And this one's called The Longest Ride, Nicholas Sparks. I definitely feel like I can put this more in my like springish, fallish pile over here. This one, I keep telling you guys, I want to read this one so bad. I think what's throwing me off is that it has winter vibes on it because it's like a snowstorm. But I keep wanting to read it so bad. But at this point where we are in life, I'm going to put it in my snow pile. And I'm going to be so excited to read this when it gets to me. I only got it in February, so I have older books. But I'm going to put this in my snow pile because I just feel like I need the snow to read this book for whatever reason. Even though I want to read this book so bad. This one, I love the cover. It's called The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. Look at, it's just like, even though this kind of gives summery vibes, it is such a thriller that I do have to put it in my thriller pile. Because even though they're on, I think it's actually, yeah, it's like a high school trip. So it's definitely like during the middle of a school year anyways. But I feel like this might be on one of my like high priority lists. This one's Cottage by the Sea by Debbie McCumber. I've got to put it in my summer list. White Girl Problems. I definitely got this as a present from somebody. It can go in this pile. It's not as specific. Candy and Me. Again, this one's a love story. I got this so long ago. I've never read it. We've got another Chelsea Handler book and Chelsea Handler book. This one's Lies That Chelsea Handler Told Me. This one's Chelsea Bang Bang. So autobiography list. Again, I got those so long ago. I've never read them. Anna Kendrick. Love her. Steve Harvey. Love him. I went through a phase where I think it was Target that was like having all of like the old books from like school on discount. Yeah, this book was $2.50. And I was just like, yeah, I want to go back and read all the books from school. I don't really know why I was thinking that. This one's A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I really have no interest. I like to think that I do want to read the old writing. And then when I get in it, I'm like, no, I want nothing to do with this. So this is crazy, but this is the second book now that I'm not going to read it. I just need to get over that fact. This book is called Send For Me. It looks super sad. I think I got this on Pango, if I remember correctly. Definitely excited to read it. Actually, maybe it was a donation. I can't quite remember, but I do want to read this one, but it's going to go on this pile, which is getting very high. This is called The Alice Network. I heard great things about this. Oh, does it have... It kind of looks like there might be some snow on the ground in this one. I am going to put it in my snow pile because I feel like it's got some snow vibes there. This next one is called The Bitch Posse. I bought this one so long ago and never read it, but I was so interested in it at the time. It's going to go in this pile for now, which I think I need to make 2 before it falls over. Down to our last stack of books. We've got Two of a Kind by Nora Roberts. Definitely a nice, fun romance. I'm going to put this maybe in like my spring, fall. Jackie, Ethel, and Joan. I definitely was interested in reading this because I love like old timing stuff. Not sure when I'm going to get to this one either, but I think I'm going to put it in my autobiography section. Okay, next one, classic. I will say this is one of those old books that I do love. It's called Little Women. I don't know who on earth doesn't know about this book, but this is definitely a Christmas time book. I have not read it during Christmas time in a very long time. Geez, my students read it, I think it was like 7 years ago, 8? Oh my gosh, it's been a long time, but I really want to read this Christmas because I feel like it's just one of those Christmas classics that you got to read. And so I do plan on reading this Christmas. It is definitely thick. So my Christmas list is actually... My Christmas list will only have a couple books on it anyways for my month of December. And that's okay because I forgot about this one that I had. And this will keep me pretty busy because it's like 600 pages. My next Christmas one is called The Christmas Wedding Guest. I got this one, I must have got it around Christmas time last year and I just never read it, so it's definitely going on my Christmas list right now. This one is Message in a Bottle by Nicholas Sparks. Definitely something I can put down here for later, but I'm excited to read this one. I know it has water on it, but I just feel like this is not really, because it's so stormy on the cover, I'm not going to classify this as like a summer necessarily read. This next one is on my thriller list. I've been wanting to read it for a couple months now, but it's going to have to probably stay for my October. It's called A Flicker in the Dark. I just got it not too long ago. It sounds so good, and I'm so excited to read this one. This one's called You're Invited. Again, this one's from July 2022, so almost a full, no, definitely over a full year now. But definitely, like, look at the vibes of this one. I love it so much. I can't wait to read it. Definitely a good thriller to look. Ooh, ooh. This one's called The Last Word. Again, cover is amazing. Can't wait to read it. Thriller. My friend also got me this one called Fairy Tale by Stephen King. Definitely a thick one, but Stephen King. I mean, I have not read a Stephen King book in a long time either, so I'm pretty excited about this one. This is fairly new, so I'm excited to put this one on my list. This one is called The Vanishing Half. It's more of like a moving story about 2 identical twins. So it's like a different genre than I would ever read. And let's see. Breathtaking, plot twist, delight, psychological insights, challenges, corrupting consequences on racism in different communities, individual lives, things like that. So definitely, I don't know what pile to put this in yet, so I'm going to put it over here on my like to be fallish, springish list. But definitely excited to read this one as well, as it's a book of the month. And my last one is a young adult. It's called Never Caught, The Story on a Judge. I have one, well, this is the young readers edition. This is just happens to be the readers edition I got because I got it from a Scholastic book club. So there is an adult version of the story and this is the child version of the story. But I thought it'd be cool to read both maybe, or at least this one. So I'm going to, it's called, let me just read the first sentences. Born into a life of slavery, Ona Judge grew up in the shadows, both at the Washington's residence and the first few decades of a new country. So, like, how can you not want to read that? That sounds so intriguing. And I think it's a quick, because it's a young adult book, what is it? Yeah, it's only 233 pages. So it's going to be a quick read, but I'm going to put it in this pile for now because I'm not sure what time of year I would like to read this in yet. I could actually see this as maybe a back to school because it kind of gets you back in that mode of like thinking about others and how we need to come together as a community and be there for each other no matter what. So I could definitely see this as maybe like a September read. I'm really excited because now I'm going to go put the books back on the shelf in the piles that I want to read them in and for the season. And so I'm really excited that I did this. I know this video is a little bit longer, but I feel like I'm a little bit more organized now and knowing, and I only got rid of 2 books, but they're just going to go on my bookstore for now. So I feel like it's a well-accomplished day. Pretty excited. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any of these books that you've already read and you want to tell me about them down in the comments, please do so. Just do not put any spoilers. I hate spoilers. I want to read it for myself. And I'll see you in the next one.